This should be a very good video, very interesting, and I'm very excited about it. We have here a really nice brand new SKU from Uperfect. So far I've done many Uperfect reviews. Some of them I bought, some of them they have sent over. This one they sent over. This one here is the UColor Apex. Cool name. And it's a 19-inch monitor, which is a new size for them. 4K, so UHD, and very high refresh, 144 hertz refresh. So this is incredible in terms of specs on paper. You get 4K, 144 hertz refresh, and it's large as well. And the other thing is it also has fantastic colors. So, so it's going to be pretty banger. So, okay, let's jump in right now to the actual specifications, and then we'll come back and we'll actually start the review. Okay, and here's a look at the Apex on the Uperfect website. They have all kinds of stuff on here. It's actually a very easy to navigate website, but we can see here the product. We'll just go through some overview here. You can see it's a nice thin screen here. Buttons on the right side, connection on the left. Very nice. It does have a fold down kickstand, which you like to see. Some of these come with folios, which is really good for portability, taking around with you. This improves standability. Specs, fantastic. Uperfect 19-inch, which is very large, and it's 4K, so you're going to get incredible pixel density at 4K, obviously. And it's a QLED, very nice, so you're going to get quantum dot. That is fantastic. Now, the specs go beyond that, because there's lots of 4K monitors. This is partially impressive because it's large, 19 inches, that's fantastic, but it's also 144 hertz refresh. So this thing is, it's matching what you're paying big money for on a desktop level gaming screen or high level productivity screen, right? You're getting 4K resolution, really large for portability, and 144 hertz refresh. That's impressive. Of course, QLED technology is great as well. And another very important thing to cover here, because this is big for me, is very high color space. You're getting 146% sRGB. I just usually speak in DCI-P3 when we get here, over 100% DCI-P3, which means we're going to push really far into the reds. DCI-P3 isn't critical for pushing far into the reds, a little bit more into the greens as well, even than sRGB. It's going to look great. So this screen is going to not only be very, very crisp at 4K, it's going to have a nice high refresh, 144 hertz, great for productivity and especially gaming, and excellent color space there. It's going to be a killer screen. Spoiler, and this is calibration, less delta E under 3, which is good. I mean, that means it's a pretty color accurate screen as well. So let's jump in. This thing is pretty damn impressive spec-wise, but let me show you why it's pretty damn impressive in reality. Okay, did you enjoy those specifications? So, I mean, we're looking at an incredible on paper screen here. We'll have to test it to make sure, but I mean, you're getting above 100% DCI-P3 color space. That's incredible, obviously. You're getting very high refresh, crisp and bright, QLED, yada, yada, yada. It's fantastic. I mean, it's big enough to work as an actual desktop. Like if you have it as I mean, you could actually use it almost as a primary, to be honest, but a secondary monitor would be amazing over there. If you're using it as a true portable, of course, it's going to be amazing. You're going to get lots of options out of it. So let's start by looking at it. You get very small bezels on it, a little bit, but not big by any means. Matte display, which you'll see a little later, is going to be fantastic. I love matte displays because they help cut down glare. Portable monitors, you really do want to have matte because otherwise you're going to get a lot of glare. There's a light there. That would be a freaking mirror otherwise. Very good. On the back here, we do have this hinge style where you actually, let's go like that. We actually hinge it out. So it's going to be nice and structurally sound. It doesn't come with the folio style. Folio is fine more for really small ones, and they're good for traveling. This one is obviously you can take it with you, but structure is going to be important because it's a larger monitor. Controls are here on the right side, so you have your standard controls with power, and you do have the headphone port if you want to hook that or hook up other speakers or something like that, and you do have USB-B. That might be useful for some people if you are using this as a primary and you're outputting from a laptop. However, it actually does have speakers built in. We'll test those, of course, too, but there are speakers built in. Then on the right side, you do get your actual ports. We can see we have a bunch of stuff plugged in here. So right now there's a HDMI, so you can hook this up over mini HDMI to your laptop or to your desktop. Like if you have an actual desktop with graphics card, like I have over there, you can hook that up. My graphics card doesn't support USB-C, like that one at least doesn't. So I can just output HDMI to this directly. Very good. So I can have a dual monitor setup. That's very important. The other thing is, of course, like I said, Nintendo Switch, that kind of stuff. You can hook it up over HDMI. That'll also deliver audio as well. For laptops and that, you have two USB-C options. One of them right now is supplying power. So you can do that. If you're going to be hooking it up with the HDMI, HDMI doesn't supply power. So you're going to hook this HDMI up to the monitor, this up to your laptop, your Nintendo Switch, your desktop, GPU. Then the screen won't have power. So you just hook up this USB-C. It comes with a power brick, little power brick, and it comes with a second USB-C cable that you can use for power. Right, brightness down. Let's turn that up. Let's see how bright it can get on. I actually don't know how bright it can get over USB-C. I don't know if it's going to give full brightness. No, I don't think so. So this USB-C, that's pretty bright though. That's probably around 300 nits. So this USB-C on this laptop, turn that off, is able to supply probably around 250 to 300 nits, which is honestly, it's not bad. Like you're going to be fine with that. You're going to do really well with 250 to 300 nits on a screen like this. You're not going to have any issues whatsoever, especially indoors, maybe outdoors you might, but because this is such a bright screen, if I do hook up an external, not necessary, but let's say I really am, on the go, I can use the built-in one, but then I set up in a library, coffee shop, or my own desk, then what I can do is I can plug in the external and all of a sudden it's physically getting brighter. Like it just before my eyes, the camera might not have showed it, but it just got brighter before my eyes. Okay, so let's test the audio here. We have there. Right now we're coming out of the Uperfect. Of course, we can test it on the laptop speakers as well. Now, I don't normally expect much out of monitor speakers. It's kind of like, if they produce sound, then they're good. But I've already kind of listened to these a little bit, not necessarily music, but they have been kind of just playing automatically. And they're pretty good. So let's see here. I did turn it up max on here. So we're going to use Windows to control the volume. Maybe turn it down to start. They're actually going to get pretty loud, so watch your headphones. So they actually shocked me. Yes, they don't match my laptop speakers over here. Of course, they don't match that, especially on, this is a reasonably decent laptop over here. Not quite as loud and not quite as rich, but they're very good for monitor speakers. Maybe because the actual monitor is larger. I have reviewed tons of Uperfect monitors and all of them have the sound it's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. And I'm very happy that it's there, specifically because if you hook up something like this, like a Nintendo Switch, the Nintendo Switch is going to be running over HDMI into the monitor. When the Switch is docked, it no longer produces sound. When it's in handheld, like this, yes, it'll produce sound. The Switch will output sound from the Switch speakers down here. But once you dock it, it actually ceases to do that. It will no longer produce sound because it's expecting to be on a TV, hooked up to TV. So it will try to produce sound over onto the monitor. So this is now going to be able to plug into that. The nice thing is you can also set your Switch up, to the side, for example. The monitor can be right in front of you. You're going to be getting directional sound, stereo sound, left, right, directly into your ears from right in front of you. So the screen specs, we've already went over, very impressive, but we'll just show them again in case people skipped my intro, which you shouldn't do. 144 hertz 4K monitor, that's crazy, right? People pay big money for high refresh 4K monitors, big money, hundreds and hundreds of dollars for, a 4K high refresh monitor. Now, picture that this also has access to things like FreeSync. It also has access to an incredibly robust color space, and it's pretty bright. I mean, you're looking at quite impressive specifications here. Okay, so right off the bat, the camera will probably not pick it up. I may have to switch to my iPhone, which I'll supplement in some imagery from that as well. You may be able to tell that this is a much more vibrant red. This is by no means a bad red. It's still 100% sRGB, so it's a good baseline. Even Uperfect makes a lot of 100% sRGB screens. Over here, though, we have 100% DCI-P3, so we actually get better reds. Right, so a little bit more red, a little bit more vibrant, like a royal. So the screen specs, we've already went over, very impressive, but we'll just show them again in case people skipped my intro, which you shouldn't do. 144 hertz 4K monitor, that's crazy, right? That's both looking good. People pay big money for high ref identical. So you're really going to notice the advantages of that 100% DCI-P3 in the, mainly you're going to notice it in the reds. It just looks a little bit more vibrant over here. I'm actually bringing up the brightness, so the blacks may not look good right now because I'm bringing it up slightly to try to get the colors. The blacks are slightly better on this, but this is still decent. If you really need absolute blacks, you can get, these guys have OLED versions, but you know, this is more of a like really bright, high color space, large screen. Looks fantastic. Now, one of the nicest things here is the brightness. It's very bright. It's a very bright screen. This is actually a reasonably bright screen. I think it's around, they rated at 350 nits, but I'd say it's closer to 350 or 400. This is a much brighter screen. Perceptively brighter. Between the two of them, I mean, it's not just that it's a larger screen producing more light, it just is a brighter screen. This one looks dimmer by contrast. Yeah, I mean, it's a nice ass screen. Okay, and here we are in Arc Raiders. I'm actually at 4K. I'll just show you that. So I'm at 4K. So I'm at 4K here, somewhere. There you go. It's hard to see. 4K right there. Now I do have competitive settings here. So I'm using performance scaling. I'm on high. I'm on just medium here, mainly because I want to show the high refresh. This screen is high refresh, right? So this is a 144 hertz refresh screen. So getting FPS like 120 actually makes sense here, right? If this was one of those, you know, monitors that are 4K 60, which is still fine, especially for productivity stuff, and even gaming, because some GPUs just can't handle above that, or you're paying AAA titles, you'll probably be fine with that. But if you're playing competitive titles like this, typically you want high FPS because it's a competitive title. So if you're able to, you know, this GPU is up to the task, apparently, I didn't know that, but apparently it's up to the task of pushing 4K well above 60 FPS, with scaling, of course. So I'm going to be able to play this now at such a crisp, like such a crisp resolution here. We have a very high DPI, so it looks fantastic. We are getting very high refresh rates here, very, very high refresh, very, very high FPS, sorry, which is really nice. We have the high refresh rate of the monitor, being able to keep up with that 144 hertz, and we're able to push higher. You know, you're going to really benefit from this incredibly nice crisp screen here, very high resolution. The other nice thing as well is you get very good colors as well. So the colors are going to absolutely pop off the screen, like these little, we're in a pretty desolate area, but these details here are going to pop off the screen. It's going to look fantastic, right? We're getting a reasonably high refresh here, despite the fact that we're at 4K. This is not the most powerful, GPU. It's only a 5060, but it's good. It's enough, right? Like we're able to get enough performance to justify this higher resolution screen and this higher refresh monitor. Right? Like we're getting well above 60, so having that higher refresh is quite nice. Now I can do stuff like, of course, I could go for more competitive settings. You know, I could turn it down. I could turn on things like frame gen. Let's just turn on. I don't normally use frame gen, but we can turn it on. All right, we can turn on some frame gen or something like that. Because I have such a high base, like we're looking at 80 as a base, you're not going to notice the input latency here, and it's going to be great. And I mean, right, we have a 144 hertz refresh monitor here, and so I'm actually seeing the high refresh. It's very noticeable, right? If you were using 60, which is fine, it's going to be great. 60 hertz refresh is good, especially for, you know, very demanding titles that are going to just absolutely obliterate your GPU. And if you don't have a high-end GPU, of course, you know, you're going to be struggling to get those FPS. It's also good for just, you know, daily desktop use. But if you're in a competitive game like this, as Arc Raiders, and you're playing a game where you can potentially benefit from high refresh, you know, you're paying money for the system that's going to be able to push those high refresh. Very nice. So, yep, that's, you know, some PC gaming. It's going to work wonders. Okay, and that's the video. There is the Uperfect. Now I have it actually hooked up to my primary desktop. I don't know, it's kind of cool to set it there, to be honest, kind of like that. Have something that I'm working on down here, larger thing up there. Yeah, I just kind of did this for the shot, but maybe I will actually use it like that. It's pretty sweet. I was thinking of putting it over to the side, which I might do, but this is actually pretty legit here, to be honest. When I'm filming, I can move it out of the way because I need the backdrop, but I can also just leave it there, which works quite well. Anyways, it's good. So right now it's hooked up to my monitor. I'll have to run some wires, do that. But yeah, I mean, it's a great product. 4K, that's fantastic. High refresh, 144 hertz, that's incredibly fantastic. The size is great, 19-inch, so it's going to be if you need a larger monitor, but it's not unwieldy large. Like you could actually take this with you. with any issues. So that's fantastic. Incredibly good color space. I actually ended up tuning it here. I went in and I played with the brightness and that, and I came in here and I went through some of the modes here, played with some different modes in that, and I've settled on the user one, just everything flat. It looks nice. It looks great, honestly. Yeah, I mean, it works exactly as anticipated. The speakers are better than expected. The fact that it has speakers, for one thing, is good, but then they're better than expected speakers is really nice. Uperfect is a reliable brand. I've used many of the things. I use one of them all the time. I have an OLED little one that I use all the time, and a lot of people in my community use the Uperfect stuff, so it's not just some random off-brand monitor that you're like, oh, it's good, but like, is it going to break in a little while? Well, they're like a very legit brand, so that's good as well. I think it's fantastic. So if you're looking for a significantly larger screen than probably the average, I would say, also with 4K, which is not uncommon, but the most impressive thing is the high refresh 4K while maintaining extremely good color space. This is the one to buy. This is a very easy recommend. Like, I mean, what can I rate it? Give it a number rating? It's a 10 out of 10. What more could you want? There's nothing else that I could change. I guess like if it was an OLED, then it would cost more. And I don't personally like OLED screens as much for myself. I have the OLED that I use, the 13-inch one, which, where are you? This is my, I wouldn't call it daily driver because I don't use it all the time, but this is a 13-inch OLED one that I use from Uperfect. This one here. And I use this for primarily hooking it up to my like handhelds and that, and I use that. That's just a little guy, just to get some more screen real estate. So that's good for me, but for like daily driver type thing, I don't actually want an OLED personally. I don't want it. Fantastic. That's the Uperfect Apex. I don't remember the like serial number, but the name is the Apex 19-inch. Fantastic. Very good product. Very, very good product.